of stories to bring you. One of them is just absolutely heartbreaking. And I'm going to throw up the poll question if I can in just a brief moment. But first, let's say hello to our guest, Dominique Newland, here in studio. Hi, good morning, Dom. And of course, Mike Page from News Now upstairs. And we'll be talking about today's big topics live now, that is. It was News Now. Live now.
It's been pattern,
It's grown up.
Yeah, it evolves.
We love that.
Check back in next week. We'll
see what the name is. Dominique, you've been talking about just a heartbreaking story on the Rebekah Baptiste story, and it is our poll question this morning as well. So let me throw that up as well if we can, and it'll show you what y'all are voting with this morning. And here's the YouTube poll. It says, do you think the Department of Child Services is to blame for the death of Rebekah Baptiste, 10-year-old girl? We'll get you details here in a brief moment, but many of you are already chiming in. In just the 1 hour that the poll has been up, you say 93% of you say yes, Rebekah's school made 12 DCS calls, but action was lacking. Here's the other poll question that we have this morning as well. Same question for you, but different platform. 100% of you say yes, Rebekah's school. They made all these calls and DCS did not do enough. So let's get you all the details on this headline and really making national headlines because so many people are talking about it, Dom.
Absolutely.
What happened in this case?
And I think especially when it involves children in any sense, and as young as just 10 years old, this is definitely going to make headlines for sure. And right now, Apache County investigators, they're starting to build that case against Rebekah's dad as well as his girlfriend. So the details we know so far, and to get everyone up to speed on this, we know last month she was found with bruises all over her body. We're talking extensive brain bleeding. She unfortunately died at the hospital, and a doctor at Phoenix Children's Hospital, they actually called this case just torture. That's really how they classified this once they did see her. So she spent 3 years. This morning, we were in front of Empower College Prep. That's where she went to school. This is near I-17 in Camelback. Now, we're told the school, they made 12 calls to DCS during her time there, which you don't hear about. That's already raising some flags. 12 calls is a lot. And the school records show DCS police, they spoke with the Baptiste children multiple times because I believe she has brothers as well. And we also spoke with school administrators. So they're really just trying to figure out what happened during these calls. Was all this reported? Where did this information go? So right now, Rebekah's father, Richard, as well as his girlfriend, they are scheduled to be in court on September 4th. And Empower College Prep, they are planning a celebration of life at the school tomorrow afternoon. So that's where we stand.
Yeah, it is heartbreaking.
Yeah,
it really is. And, I think a lot of people that are watching, they might have these questions like, what is the trigger point for, law enforcement to get involved then? When, 12 times, I mean, that is a lot.
Right.
And do you think it's like now that we live in this world where it's hard to maybe get help because everyone's worried about a lawsuit, or if you speak up, you say, okay, maybe it'll go the other way, and it's not what it seems like. But is everyone just, you think, scared of really enforcing what's on the books?
And that's a really good point to make.
I think that's a valid point too. And then also what's interesting is in those 12 calls was something being done each time, or it was kind of like, okay, we'll look into it, kind of got brushed under the rug type thing. And like you said, to your point, what has to happen? Unfortunately, death in this case, in order for action, something, for this to get eyes on.
We have the school has been very outspoken and sharing their thoughts on this as well. So let's take a listen here to what we have. We have a piece of an interview here this morning to share with you. The school has been very vocal. They sent a school resource officer also to check on the family as well.
We saw a pattern of the parents trying to withdraw the students from various services, social services, special programs at our school, almost trying to isolate them.
Kiddos had shared that they didn't feel safe going home, and that wasn't just it was just like a random Tuesday.
So this is Rebekah's father, Richard Baptiste, his girlfriend, Anicia Woods, scheduled to be in court on September the 4th. The school is called Empower College Prep, Dom, I think, as you mentioned it. And the school is planning to hold a celebration of life for Rebekah tomorrow afternoon. But it is absolutely just tragic when you think about it. There were things in that police report that I think we couldn't share in the beginning because they were so heartbreaking. And then eventually we shared them a few days later, and it was that from head to toe, she was covered in bruises. And they really did, if you were to read the police report, they really are looking into issues of torture because of how her body was found, how she was taken to the hospital. And then she was just brain dead for those days. I think 3 days she spent in the hospital.
Yeah, I believe one of our reporters said just malnourished as well.
Yeah.
And I heard she would even at school try to get food for her other siblings who went there and bring that to their classrooms. So that shows, the type of little girl at just 10 years old. That she was. But yeah, it breaks your heart, and it will be very interesting to see, the charges and how the case moves forward.
I overheard Governor Hobbs, I think it was last week, she was on one of our local radio stations, and she was sharing that they're going to look into the system and make changes if possible. But it's not going to bring Rebekah back when you think about it. It's heartbreaking. You want to save whatever families are going through situations in the future, but I'm sure they're looking into the process. And whenever you do these stories, DCS always says we want to try to keep the family together if possible. We want to try to have the children with the parents. But in this type of a situation, you really wonder whether or not that is really the wisest choice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, not at all. When the situation's so bad, and was there physical signs besides the malnourishment? Was there physical signs like at school, like, hey?
Yeah,
wow.
I believe, that teachers noticed that there's bruises and other types of things weren't right at home.
Yeah,
that she would walk
there was
into.
one report, I think, that there was like marks on her neck that had indicated. One of the teachers gave an interview, I think last week or the week before, talked about it, like had she been strangled or grabbed around her neck, there was like a bruising mark of some sort. So they're looking at different types of injuries, that her or her, I think 2 brothers may have suffered.
Yeah, and it's just, we're not talking about little scratches. These are big issues that are on this poor child.
Yeah,
and it seems like this just slipped through the cracks so bad until her death, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah.
And Mike, to your point, you don't want something like this to discourage if something's going on at home for people to speak up.
Yeah.
Because if this happened to Rebekah, well, this might, get underlooked in my case too. So bringing that awareness, I'm sure, is what teachers, the whole district, will still emphasize. If you see something, say something.
Yeah, that's a really good reminder, Dom. Thank you so much. Let's go back to the poll question, and we are getting some comments there as well. So this is our big question here this morning. Do you think the Department of Child Services is to blame for the death of Rebekah Baptiste? 93% of you say yes, almost 300 votes here in just the last hour. And then, Mike, do you want to go over the other one, my friend?
Yes. So then this is our question of the day, another one here, and it says, look at it, overwhelming 100% on this one. Yes, Rebekah's school made 12 calls to DCS and not enough action was taken. Nobody on the no, there's only so much DCS can do. Yeah,
and let's go right to this next interview here. We have a comment from a lawmaker here locally.
Child has to be safe and thriving. And we've always looked at what's in the best interest of the child, but it hasn't been defined. And in Rebekah's case, where was she safe and thriving? Was that in her foster home, or was that with her dad?
So state lawmakers are now calling for a meeting next month to address the deaths of these 3 young girls. Not just that one, but we of course have Rebekah Baptiste that you see on the far right. You have Emily Pike and Zariah Dodd. All 3 of these girls were killed despite having prior contacts with DCS. The question is whether or not it's going to be the process of going through DCS and changing process and things like that. Like it's a hefty goal.
I bet.
One that has to be done, but it's a long process.
And has to be done accurately, very thorough. So I can only imagine, how long all of these individual cases are going to take.
Right. And you think we live in such a paper trail world now, right?
We do.
And you think if you file all of this paper, there's not something that comes up on the computer, red alert, what are we doing here?
Yeah, so true, true. Well, thank you all for sharing your thoughts on this in the chat and on the poll question as well. Let's move on to this story. Dominique, thank you so much. We appreciate your work on this story.
Thanks, guys.
This one is new video into the newsroom this morning. Look at the surveillance video. This one is getting a lot of chatter. And thank you all for sharing your thoughts on that. And thank you for liking the chat too, giving us a a thumbs up in there and sharing your thoughts. So this is new video of a man who he doesn't want his animal anymore. Pinal County Animal Care and Control posting the video of this man abandoning his older dog. It was in the middle of the heat of the day. It's behind the shelter. Again, this is Pinal County. The shelter says the man did not call, did not make an appointment, or tell anyone. A staff member found the dog in a crate with no water hours later. Oh, brother. The dog is now safe, but it makes you think, what's the process? I know it's tough for people these days, maybe, but and I guess there's a process. If you call your shelter, I asked this in the newsroom earlier, Mike, I was like, well, what's the process? Like, let's say you can't afford to feed your dog and you can't afford to take them in because it costs money if you want to turn them over too. What do you do?
Right.
And apparently the shelter and Humane Society, they can help you out if this is a situation that you're in.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many different avenues you could take. And look we got, temperatures 110, 112. I mean, you're pretty much, when you're abandoning this dog, you're almost giving it a death sentence.
Yeah.
Luckily, this was okay. But maybe take it to the fire department, the police department.
Somewhere.
Yeah. Just don't put it on its misery there.
Well, it's hard enough for us as humans when we have access to water to survive the heat.
Yeah.
Because it's crazy.
Yes.
It's crazy hot in the Southwest these days, let alone kind of leaving your animal out there.
Yeah,
in the back.
Yeah, and we always have the option if we're outside and getting too hot, we could go inside. When you dump off a dog, they don't have any recourse.
Yeah, and in a crate.
Yeah.
With no water. Oh, brother. I know. It's heartbreaking.
Well, luckily it was on camera.
I know. And fortunately, the dog survived.
Yeah.
So that's the good news. We are going to bring you your mystery cam in just a quick second. Don't you love the mystery camera?
Yes.
Mike Page. All right. Here is a quick look at the mystery camera. We're going to bring it to you just a few moments early to get you a quick shot of this. And by the way, Ron Hoon will join us, I believe, later today. He has a great surprise for all of you as well. And you're going to love this, Mike. When we see Ron later, you know how he always talks to people?
Yeah.
He's so great. He met somebody with ties to the valley. That's your hint.
Oh, look at that.
In the state where he's traveling.
He's bringing Fox 10 Talks on the road.
Yes, he is. Absolutely. All right, this is your mystery camera. Give us your guesses in the chat box, and we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
You want to have one? Yeah.
Wow. Hey, Kristina, thanks for joining.
My pleasure. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
All right, welcome back, everyone. You are looking live at one beautiful city around the country, and this is your mystery camera. So we've got an Alabama from Charles David. We've got a Missouri from Husky Mom. Curtis, good morning, Curtis. He says Florida. Michael C. says Missouri. Mike Page, what are your thoughts, my friend?
You know, I was looking at this, and I'm going with Kingman, Arizona. It looks familiar.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it seems like it would be right off the highway there. That's what I'm going with.
Oh, wait. Is that King Kong on the top of that building?
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Where would they have some? I was going to say Vegas because I don't even know. I thought the lights, the restaurants. Yeah. But this looks interesting. Like an Atlantic City or something. I don't know.
Well, whatever it is, there's not too much traffic going on
that's
today.
True. It's pretty slow, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Reno or Laughlin, Brandy the Bookworm says, that's actually a really good guess. Let's see. And Brandy the Bookworm is speaking Spanish in here. Patricia, ¿cómo estás esta mañana? Way to go, Brandy. Okay, so you're going to go with, again, Kingman, you said?
Yes.
Okay, buddy. I'm going to go with Nevada, somewhere in Nevada.
Okay.
And then here is, oh, shoot, I slipped.
Are we okay there?
Yeah, no, I didn't slip. I dropped my drink. Sorry, Dave. That's a second party foul. Okay, but the show goes on.
Show goes on.
Show goes on. All right. Mike Page, do you want to do the big reveal, my friend?
And the reveal is, wow, I was not expecting this, folks. Branson, Missouri.
Holy smokes, Branson, Missouri this morning. Okay, we are going to go ahead and bring up a very special guest this morning. This is Kristina Hook, an assistant professor of conflict management at Kennesaw State University School of Conflict Management. Maybe you can help me with my ability to hold my soda here correctly on the table, but with the conflict we have with the sodas. But thank you so much for joining us, Kristina. You are an anthropologist and scholar practitioner, and you're kind of a specialist in Ukraine and Russia as well. Give us your thoughts on what is happening overseas.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me. I'm actually just returning from spending the last few months in Ukraine. I've been researching the war there since it began in 2014. And I think, what we're seeing play out this week with the big meeting coming up between President Trump and between Vladimir Putin is we're seeing Putin kind of stick to his wily ways. He's very, very good at trying to throw deceit out there in the world. And so this week, I saw a few headlines that said that maybe Putin would try to end the war. But what he's actually said is that he will think about doing a ceasefire. That's something very different. And the other thing that I've seen him really try to play games with is he said, that he would, just maybe take some lands in eastern Ukraine or something like that. Now, that's a terrible deal, but there's also a deceit game going on. The lands he's talking about, Russia's been trying to take for 11 years, and they've been unsuccessful. And so now he's telling Ukraine that even though they weren't capable of conquering those lands, they should withdraw. And the other thing I'm watching play out, having just been there, is these lands that he's that's saying that Ukraine should withdraw from. They're some of the most heavily fortified in the country. So he's really creating this narrative that sounds good on the surface, but is a poison pill that would really set the Russian military up to taking these heavily fortified territories and to absorbing all of these resources into the Russian war machine.
Yeah, that's so true, and I'm glad that you speak of the really back and forth that we get from Putin, where he kind of just dangles these end of war missions, but really he doesn't want to go down that road. I want to ask you. Tell me a little bit about this meeting that is going to take place in Alaska. I think it's an interesting spot for it. Do you think that President Putin still thinks that Alaska is Russian territory, and does he like it in that area?
Well, I can tell you that Russian textbooks, which of course are state-controlled, Russia's a dictatorship, Russian textbooks say that Alaska was leased to the United States for 100 years, and now that we have broken the rules and didn't give it back. Now, of course, that's not true, but that just kind of shows the games that Putin's regime likes to play. I think that what we've seen is that Putin loves pomp and circumstance. He loves it. He loves these kind of meetings. And I think the reason why is that his economy is a global afterthought. His economy is 1% of the world's global economy. His economy is smaller than the state of Texas. His economy is smaller than the state of California. But he likes to have all of these grand narratives that Alaska belongs to them, or these grand narratives that he sets himself up as a world power, when in fact his economy is, as I said, about half the size of California alone.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Doesn't that put a little bit into perspective?
It really does.
Of what we're talking, especially when we're talking about tariffs and the world economy and world superpowers, because he seems like this bigger than life personality, I think, Kristina. And so when you put it in perspective and what he really controls in terms of the economy, it helps us to understand where they really stand in the picture.
Yeah, totally. And
that's right.
I mean, how much longer can Russia continue this operation where, it seems like they are losing thousands and thousands and thousands of men, Ukraine as well. But I mean, how much longer can they continue to push this envelope?
I think that there are a lot of cards that the U.S. has left to play. I think that the U.S. could intervene and economically intervene and really control the Russian cash flow, which is oil. So Russia's a petrostate. They have no economic diversification. And we really could, through secondary sanctions on those key global players that illegally move Russia's oil. I'm looking at India. We saw some action there from President Trump. There's more to do with China. We really could force Putin to come to the table and to answer for all of these crimes that he's done. I'd also like to see some accountability for Putin. They have for many years pumped propaganda into their state media that talks about America as their enemy, that speaks of their delight when America faces military loss. And so I think that some pressure would remind Putin that America stands up for itself and America can stand up for its allies.
We have some really good questions coming through in our chat for you, Dr. Hook. So will Europe, this comes from Steve Dockstader, will Europe and NATO allow the war to end like they want a protracted war?
Right. So the key question here is, how can you end the war without feeding Russia's war machine? So I can tell you, I've been watching Putin raise this army. We haven't talked about it in this call, but many people know that Russia has been kidnapping thousands and thousands of Ukrainian children. Now, what they do with a lot of those children is they militarize them along with Russian youths as well. Russia's also transformed its economy. Russia is building a vast Russian war machine. And when you're building a war machine like that, you're really not likely to be after some slivers of land in eastern Ukraine. So, we can say that Ukraine shouldn't have to give up any territory. This is my position. It's immoral. It sets a terrible precedent for American adversaries like China, who might want to take Taiwan. But it also just wouldn't work. The lands that we're talking about are so resource rich. They're industrial. This would be absorbing Ukraine's people, Ukraine's highly innovative technology. And, we just can't have an end to this war that feeds the Russian war machine. So the reason the war is stretched out is because we are looking for global leaders to come out strong against Russia. I think we can do this economically. As I said, they're quite brittle. Ukraine has decimated the Russian Navy. They have Ukraine alone has inflicted over 1 million casualties on the Russian armed forces. And I think with some leadership, both from Europe with frozen assets and the U.S. with secondary sanctions on oil, you could bring Russia to the table. You could have a very clear U.S., Europe, and Ukrainian victory, and the good guys could win and the bad guys could go back to their own country.
And are you surprised that President Trump agreed to this meeting on Friday? Because it seems like just on the surface that already Putin is going to be winning that meeting just by him meeting with the president, getting that photo opportunity on U.S. soil. It seems like for President Trump to actually win that meeting, he would have to come out with the saying, hey, we do have a ceasefire. It's ending on this day. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a fascinating question. There's always, do I think this is likely to happen? No, but I can tell you that, Putin is a wanted war criminal. We could actually just slap on the handcuffs when he lands in Alaska. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, as you said, but I think it is important for, our leaders, including President Trump, to let the public know through how they handle this meeting, how they're tough on those who call for destruction in America, who have killed so many people around the world, like Vladimir Putin. I would like to see a tough tone from the US government. I do think that that is actually what bullies like Putin respond to. And actually, that toughness is the only thing historically that Putin has responded to.
So we have another question in the chat box, Dr. Hook. Michael Lewis asks, do you think it is inevitable that Russia will gain territory in Ukraine?
Oh, definitely not. So what I'd really like to see, I've been tracking this war for 11 years, and I'd really like to see leadership that would support Ukraine to be victorious. I think that it's very possible. So I spent a lot of time with the defense industries of Ukraine, and something that your viewers might be interested in, I spoke of these massive casualty rates that they've inflicted on Russia. About 80% of the current casualties Ukraine inflicts on Russia are coming from their drones, their homegrown defense technology. So Ukraine is much, much more successful than I think they get credit for in our media. The Russian Black Sea Fleet, most of it's on the bottom of the sea, and so I think that if they have just a little bit of support economically in terms of us being willing to put on those biting sanctions that our leaders have talked about, I think that it is not inevitable. I think that you can make this war very, very costly for Vladimir Putin. And then I think you can force him to withdraw because the thing he cares about most is staying in power.
Dr. Hook, we thank you for your time this morning. And I think it's quite impressive that you are an expert in conflict management, which I think works on Main Street and it works on the global platform because it's something that we all need, whether or not you're in the workplace, at home, or on the political spectrum. So thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate it, and I hope we can call on you again very soon and once again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. What great insight.
I know. Where you think this has been raging on for so long now, and I thought that was a great question by the viewer, though, thinking, is Russia going to get some of the land? Because ultimately that's what it is.
It is, absolutely. We are going to take a quick break, and we're going to give you another shot, beautiful shot. You can vote in our poll question as well. So the link is at the very top of the chat box. Here's a quick glance at one of those beautiful cities all around the country. And right along the water, you got that playground. So pretty. All right, we got Ron Hoon coming up a little bit later as well. We'll be right back.
I learned my lesson.
Take care, everyone.
Thanks, Mike. Great job. Stephen, can you talk for us so we can check your mic?
Yeah, sure. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Looking live here at a beautiful city around our great country. And isn't a whole lot going on that playground right now. But, of course, maybe on later today, they'll have more kiddos out there this morning. All right, welcome back. We do have a very special guest to chat with here this morning. And of course, we're talking about Ron Hoon. Isabella is here too. This is your Bella Bomb.
Hello. Hi.
Thanks for joining, Bella.
Thank you.
Okay, and we have a very special guest as well. Senior music writer Stephen J. Horowitz at Variety is chatting with us about this new Taylor Swift album. Good morning. Nice to see you, Stephen. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great. How are you?
Okay, wonderful. I'm wonderful. I'm going to throw your Zoom up and we can see your handsome face now. So you're with us at this hour. Thank you so much. Your thoughts, if you can, on this new Taylor Swift album? It's been a little bit, right? It's been a hot minute for her.
I mean, she's just coming off of the Eras tour, and she put out the Tortured Poets Department last year, and then the Anthology, which was basically another album. So she did take a little bit of a hiatus after the Eras tour, but she's back. She's got a whole new record, and I think that we can expect a lot more from her in the coming months.
Okay, that's so interesting. You know, there's that argument of the old Taylor versus the new Taylor. I have to ask, what is your favorite era and version of T Swift?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
You look nervous. Are you sweating?
I am nervous because I don't want to say the wrong thing.
No wrong answers.
I think the Red era. I mean, that was sort of her pivot into hard pop. And she just really showed what she was capable of doing outside the country space. And she had bangers on there. It was really a fun time to be a Taylor Swift fan.
You know, I think it's important to mention, too, that she's kind of evolved. And I think maybe that it made her so interesting to so many different people. Mm-hmm. I liken her maybe to like a Madonna. Like we saw Madonna, early Madonna, and then she kind of grew up and her music did too. Mm-hmm. Although I know Taylor is just an epic marketing queen when it comes to, you know, everything business and music. But she she's been able to transcend generations with her music.
Oh, totally. And, you know, I really like what Steven said about the Red era, because I also have to agree, you know, when she was first starting off and did mainly country music, I personally didn't listen to her. But when she came out with the Red era, I suddenly was a very big Taylor Swift fan. So great answer, Steven.
Steven, what was...
I mean...
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, speaking to what you were saying, we've seen her sort of evolve over time. She really... has always positioned herself as a songwriter first, but we really got a closer look at that as her eras have progressed, particularly with Folklore and Evermore. She just became like this singer-songwriter and focusing so much on the art itself. That's why I'm sort of excited for the next era, because it seems like, I think we can sort of guess that she's heading back towards big pop music. We have little bits of information. You know, she only lets us see as much as she wants. But yeah, it seems like it's heading in that direction. I think it's going to recenter and recalibrate things for her a little bit.
I think you're right. And Stephen, we do have on our YouTube chat a couple of questions for you. First, from Brandy the Bookworm. She said she loves all the books behind you. Is there one that you like, or something that you learned something that was kind of eye-opening? And what are your thoughts on any of the ones that you see behind you there?
Oh, that's a great question. Thanks for asking that. I mean, the one that's on display is probably the best book I've read over the past year or two. I'm a huge hip hop head. Surprise! I like a lot of different things. But Jay Dilla is a producer from Detroit who is no longer with us, but he has sort of reshaped how we hear hip hop, and his understanding of rhythm really changed what hip hop could be during his lifetime. So it's a really great book. It's by Dan Charnas, who is a fellow journalist, and it's so well researched and goes into the history of Detroit. Really learned a lot about not only Detroit, but also the history of Jay Dilla.
That's awesome. Michael Lewis with another question here for you, Stephen. Can we expect a different sound from Taylor on this album? This is a great question because this will be the first album, right, that I think she now controls her old music and obviously the new because it's hers.
Yeah, I think we can probably expect more of, like I was saying before, more of a return to pop music, like hard, big beats, that kind of thing. The smallest window into what we could expect was on the Spotify playlist that she put out in tandem with the album announcement. And fans obviously sleuthed it out very quickly, those Easter eggs, that all the songs that she curated onto that playlist, all 22 of them, were produced by Max Martin and Shellback, who are two titanic pop producers. They've worked with Ariana Grande, I mean, literally everybody. So I think we can expect more pop. It's not going to be the singer-songwriter stuff of the Tortured Poets Department or Folklore or Evermore. I think she's pivoting back.
You know, I got to ask you, as somebody who works for Variety, and I mean, you must be living the dream. You love music. You get to write about it. You're talking about it here with us as well. How do you get started in this type of a business, and how do you become successful at it?
That is a great question. I started in this industry maybe 18, 17 years ago. The media landscape was very different back then. It's a lot tougher to break into this now, but it's basically about accruing knowledge and figuring out how to apply that to the art of writing. Not only do I do new stuff, but I also do, concert reviews. I just saw Counting Crows last night.
Wow.
Also,
so fun.
Also,
do you need a +1? I can be your +1. That sounds amazing.
I always do need a +1. So, if you're in Los Angeles, come through. But yeah, it's a lot of hard work. It looks like it's living the dream. It's like, I'd say 80% hard work and constantly reporting and keeping an eye out on news and all that stuff and being in the field. And then the 20% is like, I get to chat with artists and I get to go to shows, and that's pretty fun.
And take photos and post them on social media.
That is so fun. Jealous.
That's part of it.
I have one more T Swift question for you before we switch gears to our next question topic we have for you. But my last Taylor Swift question is, what is your favorite song of hers?
Oh man, there are so many.
Speechless.
Probably something. I think it's a toss-up between 22 and I Knew You Were Trouble. It's just those songs had such a specific, significance for me when they came out. It really just hit at the right time. Everybody has a different Taylor Swift favorite song. I mean, there's no wrong answer, but those are the two that sort of stand out to me.
Okay.
I love that. Great answer.
It is a great answer. You're right, Bella. All right, let's move on to this topic if we can with you. Let's talk about Beyonce adds a Primetime Emmy to her resume. She won the award for Outstanding Costumes for Variety, Nonfiction or Reality Programming. And the award, of course, was talking about, as you know, Beyonce Bowl Netflix special. So she's also up for Outstanding Directing for a Variety Special and Outstanding Variety Special. But the winners for those won't be released or announced until September the 14th or so. Your thoughts on Beyonce and maybe the transition she made? She kind of turned a lot of heads, and some people, I think, were challenged to accept the fact that she was a country artist or not. I mean, and now she's winning these awards.
Yeah, particularly the country institution had a little bit of a hard time with that pivot. Yeah, I mean, Beyonce is Beyonce. I went to the Cowboy Carter tour twice when it was in Los Angeles. She's just that good. I think that album really showed us that, when she puts everything into it, which she always does, she does it excellently and flawlessly, and she makes perfection look easy, which it never is, but she manages to present it in that way. And I think her winning this Emmy is a really good sign for where she may be heading when the other awards are announced. It was a total surprise when she won Album of the Year at the Grammys for an album that admittedly is not the easiest album to get into compared to something like Renaissance, which was a dance record, a lot more accessible. And Cowboy Carter was this pivot into country, and not necessarily hard country, but Americana and folk. And, there were splashes of hip hop. She really sort of made this tapestry of all these different genres and housed it under the country umbrella. So I think it's a really amazing feat for her to find success in country when she really hasn't been in that space at all for, with a few exceptions, for her entire career.
I think it's interesting too, because she is such an entertainer. She loves to entertain. She's got the bling going. She's got the big, beautiful hair, and she's gorgeous. And so I think, when I look at like a Carrie Underwood or something like that, like that is the kind of glam, country glam that I see. So
Totally.
I think it was a little, maybe that helped her a little, What do you think?
I think she just sort of did it her own way. Beyonce always sort of manages to take tropes from other things and Beyonceify them. And so she's not necessarily in the traditional getup. She doesn't look like we see Carrie Underwood or any of these other country stars. She really created her own vision around those touchstones. And it's not a surprise at all, but for Beyonce, it's such a delight because you never know what you're going to get with her, but she always makes it distinctively her thing.
Completely. I mean, I just know people that are so ride or die for Beyonce. They will spend all their money to go to her concerts, get tickets. And yeah, I think you said it very, very well. She just makes it her own and you just can't compare it.
Yeah, and we don't know what we're getting with Act 3. It could be a rock record. A lot of fans have been speculating that for a long time. So we will see what she does with that, but obviously it will be in her own mold, and it'll be a great experience for people who have been fans with her forever.
Okay, last question for you. What's your next concert, or where are you headed next? Like, what's your next assignment you're working on?
Good question.
Well, let's see. What am I doing?
Where
tonight?
are you taking me,
Robert...
Stephen? Where are you taking me, Stephen? I got to know the dates and when to be in LA.
Well, tonight I'm going to a private opening of the Blue Note Los Angeles, which Blue Note is obviously a big club. They're opening one here, and Robert Glasper is performing. He's a very talented jazz pianist. Yeah, that's what's next.
There is it Berlioz or Berlioz, or there's a jazz artist that was here in the Valley not too long ago, and he's kind of hip with like the young, younger generations. I feel like jazz is having a resurgence now that you mentioned that, heading on into, where you're headed tonight. Do you feel the same way?
100%. I mean, jazz is a classic American institution, but it really has sort of spread out into other genres. I mean, it's been a part of hip hop for quite since the inception, sampling and all of that stuff. But these jazz musicians are playing on these hip hop records. Kendrick Lamar has tons of them on his records. So I think that sort of opens a door for people to get a little bit more of an interest in something that they may not have necessarily been interested in before.
Stephen, we thank you for your time, buddy. Have a great time tonight. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
All right. We'll be right back.
All right, Ron is pinned. Got his full screen up. Great.
I'm talking.
Yeah, let's act. Ron, can you talk so we can check your mic?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 or 9 or 9.
All right, you look.
Okay, thank you, Ronnie. What happened to the music? Oh, really? That's a bummer. All right, welcome back, everyone. You're not a bummer. We lost the music. That's the bummer. If you happen to hear what I just said. You are looking live at a beautiful city. I wonder if this is Big D. Do we know where this is? Is this St. Louis? I don't know. Thank you so much, my friend. Welcome back. We're going to bring in Ron Hoon this morning because we know that whenever the viewers, what you ask, we provide to the best of our ability.
Correct.
Ron Hoon, good morning.
Yep. One state in 7 days, you guys. And I still am in Minnesota. I'm going to be here for a couple of more days trying to explore this state. I am at Bob Dylan's house.
Oh my gosh, how cool.
Wow.
Can you believe this?
Oh,
wow. Music legend. Let me just show you right here.
Did you knock on the door?
I haven't knocked on the door, but I am told that the fellow who lives here occasionally just lets people come in and go on tours. You got to call him or text him. So I might do that once I'm done chatting with you guys. But hey, look, this is Hibbing, Minnesota. Bob Dylan himself was born in Duluth, but he moved here as a 6-year-old. And by the time he was, I think after he graduated from high school, he moved away. But really his whole life growing up was right here on this corner. Oh, look, you got to check this out right over here. It's called, can you see that? Bob Dylan Drive.
Oh, how neat.
Yeah. Now, let me just tell you, I have learned that Minnesota has produced some serious musical talent over the years. You've got Prince. You've got Bob Dylan. You've got Judy Garland. Remember, she was singing away in The Wizard of Oz. And then Lizzo. So it just like covers the whole spectrum of musical talent here in the state of Minnesota.
Wow. So you got gangsters and you have musicians.
Yes. Wow.
Correct. And I have, I think, maybe the most beautiful lighthouse in America. Let me show you some of this video, you guys. It's called Split Rock Lighthouse.
Oh, yeah. We see it over your shoulder here in this picture.
Check it out right there. Okay, so it's just off in the distance there. It's up on a cliff that's, I think, about 120-foot cliff. Look at that. I talked to the photographer who took that picture, Frank Cardamone. He's cardamonephotography.com. Chatted with him this morning. I said, how did you ever get a picture that fantastic? And he said, you got to be there on the right day at sunset. But anyway, I've known about it for years. It was kind of a bucket list item. I wanted to go see it. And so I headed there yesterday. It's on the shores of Lake Superior, almost into Canada. And I'll share some of the other pictures from yesterday as well. Got there. It was right around sunset, and it was really, I mean, it was just so stunningly beautiful. One of the people that I met there, let me see if I can show you a couple more of those pics. All right, so there's that one.
Yes.
Right? This lighthouse, remember the sad story of the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald that went down in Lake Superior? And all of the sailors who were on board were lost.
No, but we're glad.
If you can imagine, they had a storm 100 years ago where 29 ships in one storm were shipwrecked.
Wow.
And so they decided, we're going to build a lighthouse. It took them a long time. For years, there were no roads out there. You basically had to just kind of crank whatever you wanted to have to build your lighthouse. Eventually, they got some roads out there. But anyway, I'm out there yesterday, you guys, and the lady from the state park who was kind of showing me around, or from the Historical Society, she said, you look really familiar to me. And so I said, yeah, I work. This is Amy right here. She's like, Fox 10 in Phoenix, right? I'm like,
oh,
yeah.
my goodness.
Wow.
How about that? I've been running into Fox 10 fans all over this great state.
This is amazing.
And her name is Amy, and her mom and dad live in Mesa. So when she comes down, they all watch Fox 10.
Hi, Amy. That's so great.
Is that amazing?
That is so amazing, Ron. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Small world.
Yeah, and really, and we have so many people in the chat. Oh, wait, hold on, Ron. People are loving the
one more
photo
thing.
of the lighthouse.
Celeste, you
Tell us-
remember Renee's mom, Betty?
Yes.
She was a sweetheart. She was the most amazing cook.
was.
I bet I told her 50 times, Betty, you got to open a restaurant and sell your pies. Well, she never did. She passed many years ago. But I'm driving down the road yesterday and I see a diner called Betty's Pies.
Aww.
And I said to myself, Betty, from somewhere high up above, you have directed me to Betty's Pies. So, of course, I had to go
that's
in there and get a
sweet.
slice of pie. Is that amazing?
That's so
Anyway,
great.
you were asking
That's so
about the
special.
diners. There's Betty
Yeah,
and
they
her
have
pies.
good diners up there. All right, Ronald, we got lots of people in the chat saying they love you, they miss you, and we want to let you enjoy your day and knock on that door. Unless you want to do it on live streaming here. You want to go knock on that guy's door?
I think he has a sign up that says you got to call or text ahead of time. So I think I'm going to go do that. But if he does let me in, I'll share it with you later.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much. And
Okay.
okay, Ron, you look great, buddy.
Bye, Ron.
Vacation looks
Oh,
good
by the
on
way,
you. Oh, hey,
I'm
look at you.
representing. Look at this, you guys.
We miss you so much.
That's your,
Minnesota now knows about Fox 10 Talks I'm representing.
Fox 10 Talks worldwide.
love it, love it. Ron, we'll talk to you later,
Bye,
buddy.
Ron.
Have a great day. All right, this morning as well, we have another interview to bring you here this morning. This is Sean Rabb, DC Crime Crackdown. We're talking about him. He's a reporter in Dallas, Texas. Sean, good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Hello, Phoenix. Hello, Phoenix.
Hello, Phoenix. Yes. Hi. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. Let me go ahead and pull up your image as well, and we can see. That's a beautiful backdrop, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're all matching in purple.
Yes, absolutely. What are your thoughts on? Tell us more about this DC crackdown on crime. And I know is it 800? I think troops that were sent in.
Yes, so 800 National Guard sent in. The president is the only one who can order the deployment of National Guard in D.C. because it is a federal district, not exactly a city like Phoenix or Dallas. While it has a mayor and a city council established by this home rule, but they have limited power, and all power still belongs to the federal government over the District of Columbia. So 800 National Guard deployed. They hit the streets on yesterday, along with 100 FBI agents. And of course, the president has announced the federal government takes over the Metropolitan Police Department in some ways for the next 30 days is likely. Beyond that, it will require a congressional act for the federal government to continue oversight of the Metropolitan Police Department.
So one of the pieces of information we had this morning, Sean, was that the 800 replace the number of officers that they're short in D.C. Is that correct? That was some of the information we received this morning.
So, yes, they are short about 800 officers. Of course, they've been trying to recruit like every city across the country, but they've had budget issues. And again, D.C. is funded by Congress, and the budget for D.C. has been held up past the Senate, but it's been held up in the House. So, yes, there's a shortage of police officers. At the same time, crime has dropped there, the lowest levels in 30 years by some 24% in 2024. It's down from its peak in 2023.
So I understand there were 10 arrests that were made in the overnight hours. Do we know anything about, were they minors, were they juveniles, adults, or what types of crimes they may have been arrested for?
So we don't know. I don't have that information yet. I do know that there were at least 10, maybe more arrests that were made overnight. These may have very well been people with outstanding warrants who were stopped or in some way came across law enforcement. But again, that number small on last night, but some of these could have been people, again, with outstanding warrants. The police chief in D.C. and the mayor say, yes, there's a federal commissioner now over us, and yes, Attorney General Pam Bondi makes the request of our department, but those requests must come through the police chief and the mayor.
All right, Sean Rabb for us live this morning out of Dallas, Texas. Great looking city behind you. Thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate it.
All right. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank
have
you for
a good
having
day,
me.
my friend.
Bye.
Thank you
so much.
Interesting to see what's going to happen over the next several days as we watch a little bit closer.
Yeah.
You know, with the so many of the officers there in
Definitely.
Dallas.
That
you
was
know,
a
on the
great
streets.
interview.
Yeah, it was really great. This morning, we're going to welcome on in. Anita will be in a brief moment. I see her walking through. Her and Ty will take over at 11 a.m. Let's talk about this story when it comes to is Dave? Are you in here, buddy?
Dave's out there right now.
Oh, Dave's out there. We are talking about the Big D. As he makes his way, we got to give the people what they want this morning.
They want the Dave cam.
Hey, Dave, how's it going, buddy?
I'm terrific. How about you guys?
We're doing great. We're talking about gossiping with your spouse.
Ooh.
Do you gossip with your spouse?
All the time.
That must mean you have a great relationship.
Fantastic relationship. I love my wife very much.
Yeah. So throw your thoughts in the comment and in the chat, because apparently there's a new study out that says if you gossip with your partner, you actually have a closer relationship.
Okay.
You know, and I don't know what actually is, if it's gossip means it's negative necessarily, or maybe it's just like unloading like your day's issues and having somebody to talk to.
Yeah, I think it's similar as when you're gossiping with a girlfriend or you're talking with your friends, just having that ability to vent and say things you might not say to other people, I think can just bond someone. So I don't have a spouse, but I can understand.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. And I think you bring up a good point, because I don't think, obviously we're talking about spouses right now, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a spouse. It can actually be like a friend or a parent or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
But let me get to the details on this study here this morning. So this is coming out of UC Riverside in California, and they say couples that spill the tea together bond more deeply. And the researchers tracked 76 different couples and recorded snippets of their daily conversation. Results showed participants gossiped for about 30 minutes a day with their partner on average. We don't know if it was like right when they got home or if it was like pillow talk or something like that. But the couples who gossip a lot tend to be more satisfied with their relationships, it says. The author of the study explains that gossiping may function as a tool of emotional intimacy.
Okay.
Yeah, because those are your people. It's like your circle. That is your circle of trust.
Right. Circle of trust. There you go. Especially when, I'm assuming with a spouse, you trust them, you know that your opinion stays between you guys. So I think I can totally see that being accurate.
And Jenswell says, no esposo aquí. We've been speaking Spanish. Many of you have been speaking Spanish in the chat. We have a multicultural, multilingual chismes gossip, according to Patricia Randolph. And you are absolutely correct. And so right now, we're going to wrap up right now. Ty and Anita will take over in about 2 minutes. And we thank you for hanging with us. Have a great day. We'll see you later.
See ya.
Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday. We made it halfway through the week.
We did. Irene is joining us.
Yeah.
We're going to get to her in just a second. But I see a lot of folks in the chat talking about the T-shirts.
They're nice T-shirts.
They're a hot commodity.
They're a hot commodity.
And what I love is that folks are sending us the photos of them wearing
I
their
love those photos.
Yes. All right. So Dave just notified us that we are getting another shipment. Right, Dave?
Yes, sir.
Why don't you just come over here, Dave?
And talk into the
Yeah,
mic.
since you're the one who knows everything.
He has a
Hi,
camera
Dave.
back there, you know that?
Oh, my Dave cam.
Look, you're just like Casper the Friendly.
Oh!
All right, wait. I don't know how to do that. I've never
away.
pressed the Dave cam. Do I have a Dave button?
Do you have a Dave button?
Just press
I don't
every
have a
button and see
Dave
what they do.
button. I don't have a Dave button. I have this one.
I'll come back.
No, he's gonna
Okay,
come
yeah,
back.
come back. Even though you ghost us,
I'm invisible. But yes, our general manager has confirmed new shirts are coming.
More shirts.
Get excited. Yes, same shirts.
Same shirt.
More shirts.
Okay.
We'll have a chance to have.
There we go.
The giveaway. It'll be fun.
All right, thank you for that update, Dave. Everybody was asking. They ask. We deliver.
We
here
deliver.
at Fox 10 Talks at 11 o'clock, right? All right. Irene, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
You have become our go-to girl when it comes to everything that's happening at this Kyrene de la Sierra.
I know. I feel
elementary
like it's
school.
my new home being out there right outside. We switched angles today, by the way. We were on the other side of the school. We're like, you know what? Let's switch angles.
Let's look at
a little
something
bit.
different. We've been covering this this is week 2 now.
Week 2, yeah.
So what's going on? They finally released the results, sort of, of the test.
They gave some of the results for the test. They sent those emails out to parents last night. They're not commenting to us right now just because any potential litigation because of that. But they did say to the parents in that email, it's the final indoor air quality report. They said there were high levels of volatile organic compounds with published exposure limits. So they were saying, kind of breaking this down, the numbers for us. VOC level, they said 14,000 nanograms per liter. And they were saying that anything above 3,000 is considered severe. So again, we're at 14,000. Anything above 3,000 would be severe and means that indoor air quality needs some kind of improvement there. They also tested for any kind of contamination. They said that all categories were normal with the exception of one of those categories. Kind of makes sense here. We're talking about roofing construction. They said category of coating, so paint, varnishes, sealants. Those were marked as severe. They did say the roof construction has not resumed yet. Some of that footage you were seeing was from the other week when we were first out there. I think that was my first day there. So this is the week where they moved to the new schools right now. So kind of seeing how parents are dealing with all of that.
So this is my understanding that they tested a number of different things, like let's say A, B, C, D. And there's a threshold for each one where it's dangerous. And not all of the particles were above it, but they were all below it. But because we have so much of it that is so high, collectively, it's dangerous. Not necessarily dangerous, but concerning.
It's above what it should be.
It's concerning.
Yeah.
It's concerning.
Yeah, and they were saying too, I mean, you think about the teachers that were in there a little bit before the students actually came in. They usually set up about a week before. So
Sure.
Waiting to hear more information about that. But again, the school isn't commenting to us at this point this week, just to any potential litigation.
Yeah. I mean, this has just been kind of, such a, I guess, wrench in the beginning of this new school year for not only the parents that kind of had to scramble at the very beginning when they were like, you're going to virtual learning for those first couple of days. And now they've got them kind of sharing classrooms, right? So have you been able to kind of talk to parents about how that is going so far?
So we did that. I think it was Monday that I was out there at Cerritos, which is the school where a lot of these students are going. And some of the parents were saying, we understand the way it is, but also it's kind of crowded.
Yeah.
The lines are long. Parents were parking in the neighborhoods
That's
nearby
what we're
because the
hearing
parking
about.
lots
So
were
it's not
filling
even
up.
just what's happening in the classroom, because you want your child to get the best education possible. But even before they get in there, there's a little bit, there's chaos.
But it could be some bit of a growing pains. You never know. I was at Sierra this morning. I was not at Cerritos, so I'm not sure what the lines were like today. But Monday, the first day, it was pretty long.
Yeah. All right. Well, Irene, you've been doing a fantastic job.
Thank
by
you.
the
Oh, well,
way,
thank you.
Keeping on top of the story and keeping us updated. So we do appreciate all your hard work that you've been doing.
Well, thank
out
you.
there.
You know what? I'm on vacation for the next week. Someone else got to
no.
take over to be the resident reporter on this story for the
Well,
next
then I'll
week.
see you in 2 weeks
I'll
because
see
I'll
you
be
in
on
2 weeks.
vacation after you go.
Oh,
Anita,
wow.
what am I going to do for 2 weeks?
I know.
And then I'm on vacation
Oh, my
for a
gosh.
week and a half. We're never going to see each other for a month.
We'll get a little text chain going. Brian
You can
wants
go
to
on
go on
vacation,
vacation.
Brian.
You just came back from
Yeah, you just got
vacation.
vacation. Oh, man.
Everybody take a vacation.
Everybody calm down. All right. Well,
Thanks, Irene. Appreciate
All right, we're
it.
looking for some Bill and anchors right now because we need.
Yeah, it's going to be you by yourself. No.
You're taking over the 11 a.m. Fox Talks.
All right, in 2 weeks, I got it.
All right.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and play this video. This is very tough to watch. This is a really tough video to watch. We're all dog lovers, and I know that we have a lot of animal lovers in the chat as well.
So this happened in Pinal County at Animal Care and Control. We were told that this vehicle drove up, and they basically just kind of abandoned their dog in the back of this facility. We're told it's an older dog, too.
Yeah, you can see the person. I don't want to say gentleman, but the person.
It looks like a man.
Putting the crate down and then leaving. And this is, again, as you mentioned, the back. So the workers eventually found that dog, no water. And it's hot outside.
It is very hot outside. And so we are actually joined this morning by one of the individuals who works at the Pinal County Animal Care and Control this morning, Audra. Good morning. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us this morning. Can you kind of fill in if we missed anything with that video and what you guys kind of are learning about that poor dog that was just kind of left on your doorstep earlier this week?
Sure. Thank you for having me. The gentleman, it was a gentleman. He
Audra,
came
we're having
at
a little bit of a
6:20 in the
difficult time
morning.
hearing you. Are you maybe on mute still? Okay.
Okay, well, Audra, try and talk again. We'll see if we can't get you.
Can you hear me?
You're very, very low.
and it could be
I don't
on
know
our
if we
end.
could boost
it
our
could just be on our end.
earpieces.
Viewers at home, can you hear Audra?
Okay, Audra, I think we're good to go now. I apologize.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep, we got you.
Thank you.
Okay, great. He dropped off the dog he showed up at 6:20 in the morning, and we're not open, and he probably knew that. One of our volunteers was doing playgroup with a bunch of dogs, and he brought the Chihuahua, is a little white Chihuahua, elderly, and he held it over the fence and said, "You need to take this dog." And she said, "I'm sorry, sir, I'm just a volunteer. They open at 10. So he just walked away, went in his car, got the crate, and then put the dog in the crate and dropped it in the back, where we really don't check for stuff back there, and it wasn't found until 8:30 in the morning. So it was hot. We didn't even know there was a dog in there. We thought it was a donated crate. And one of our team just happened to walk up and pick it up thinking it's a donation and went, "Whoa, this is kind of heavy," and looked inside, and there was a dog that was breathing very heavy because it was very hot.
Audra, I think because we're having a tough time hearing you, I think you said this is a Chihuahua. We had Brandy, the bookworm, asking what kind of dog, and is it going to be up for adoption?
Yes, it will be up for adoption. It is elderly, and we really don't know a lot about it medically yet. We've been trying to assess it, but yes, it will be available for adoption.
Real quick, I know you're still kind of assessing everything, but we were talking today about what is the proper protocol. I mean, unfortunately, there's circumstances that are outside of people's control sometimes, unfortunately, and they do have to get rid of their beloved pet, but this is the wrong way to do it. Can you tell us, Audra, what is the right way if you have to surrender your pet?
Yes, the right way to do it would be to call us and give us an idea of what you're struggling with, because we can help with food, we can help with training, crates, stuff like that. Slight medical stuff. Just give us a call and let us know what it is that is happening that makes you need to surrender your pet, and we could set you up with an appointment. And it may not be today, but it may be in the next couple of days. And but just give us an opportunity to work with you. Don't just drop your dog at the back, because we don't know anything about that animal, and especially small dogs, they go pretty quickly. So
Audra,
that was definitely
sometimes there are situations where people may be afraid. They might be worried about repercussions of giving up their dog. They don't want to give their name. They don't want to give their information, but they do want to surrender. What information do you take? How do you work with people with that?
we have a team of people that have questions that are in front of them to ask and to counsel the person and ask why necessarily. We don't want to shame anybody. We understand that times are tough right now. And if we could help them keep that animal, that's why we like to counsel them first. But if ultimately the animal is a danger or they just can't take care of it, we will take the animal. It's what we do.
Yeah, Andre, you obviously have the surveillance video of that individual dropping off that dog. Are you looking to potentially press charges? I mean, thankfully, someone was able to see that poor little dog out there before something horrible happened, because obviously it's been very hot. We all know that here in the Valley. It has been very hot, and thankfully that worker was able to see that dog before something terrible happened.
Right. No, we're not going to charge him. We just would like to know more about why he did what he did and give us some information about the dog that will make it easier for us to find the perfect home for the dog.
Yeah, and also if that dog is sick and needs medication or has a history of something, it's beneficial for you guys to know that. How do people get a hold of you?
They can call us at 520-509-3555, or they can email us at animalrescue@pinel.gov.
All right. And Andra, since we've got you here this morning, we're all dog lovers here, but we were talking to some other Valley rescue organizations that were saying how full they are. How are you guys looking in Pinal County?
We have 149 kennels and we have 352 dogs. Wow. So there's 3, 4, 5 dogs in a kennel. And we are over capacity by about 270%.
Wow. So if you're looking for a pet.
Unfortunately, it's happening all over the state.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Okay, we'll make sure to get all your information up, put the website up, so hopefully people can help, volunteer, and adopt.
Thank you so much.
Audra, thank you. We appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you.
All right.
That's a tough one.
It is. And hopefully they're going to be able to get that little dog adopted to a loving, happy family here soon.
1 minute left.
1 minute left.
Going to bed is different than going to sleep. Yes or no?
Clearly, yes. Is this a trick question? What kind of question is
No.
this?
This is a new survey. They asked Americans, is going to bed and going to sleep, going to bed and going to sleep two different things, or is it the same?
Again, I feel like this is a trick question. I have no idea. Just tell me what I'm supposed to say. I don't know.
Do you want to wait until after the break?
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone at home, chime in. I want to know. In a new survey, Americans were asked, is going to bed and going to sleep two different things?
Well, sometimes I say I'm going to bed and then I read my book.
You stay up. You're not sleeping.
Okay, well, I guess we'll discuss and we'll have an answer for you coming up. I thought this was a trick question from Anita trying to stump me on a Wednesday.
2 minutes.
All right, we'll be back.
Welcome back, everyone. Sleep. Sometimes I don't sleep. Most of the time I don't sleep.
Think positive.
I'm trying. Okay, so here's what we're talking about. Talker Research put out a survey, and they found that the average American usually heads to bed around 10:30 at night, but doesn't actually fall asleep until 11:18 p.m. Nearly 30% of the people who responded to the survey say that they are kept up thinking about chores and other things that they need to get done. A fifth of the respondents said they like to stay up because it's their favorite time of day, and other people say they avoid sleep so that they don't fast forward to the next day. I'm looking at the chat, and this has a lot of people chiming in.
I didn't know we would get such a response.
Yeah, I know. So Michael Lewis says they are not the same, and I'm going to have to agree. Jen Walls, yes, too different. I think they're different. Linda says they're different. Same, says Cody. David thinks it's a stupid question, but we have a lot of people say. Isabella says, I go to bed at 9, but I don't actually fall asleep until midnight, sometimes 1 a.m. Isabella and I have the same problem sleeping. We've talked
You know what?
about that.
I'm lucky. Sometimes, as soon as I put my head down, I'm son laws.
And here's Husky Mom, who says everyone is in our heads. We all know that this is happening.
That's true.
It's different. I mean, sometimes Sunday nights are the worst for me because that's my. You have to get back to your new
and your routine,
your work routine. And Friday night, you can stay up a little later. Saturday night, you can stay up a little later, deviate. Sunday night, I try to be in bed at 6. I am sometimes not falling asleep till 9:30. And I try the music and I try reading.
And the magnesium. You need to start just pills.
I take a lot of
You need some Ambien. You need some Xanax. Oh, that'll get you to sleep.
Not legal, but okay.
Yeah, they are.
Well, if it's
they're prescription.
Yeah, I know. So I was like, no.
Where do you think I'm getting my pills, Anita? Man.
That's why you're snoring the second that you hit the pillow.
All right, Brandy the Bookworm just asked Ty, what book are you reading? And you know what?
Hey,
we might
good
have
question.
a good book. I just finished Remarkably Bright Creatures. And I finished it on the plane.
You like it?
Well, I'm going to admit something. I got a little teary-eyed on the plane. Have you read that book?
I have not.
Okay. Well,
what's it about?
Well, it's an old lady. She's like in her 70s, so not old.
Sorry, guys.
She works at an aquarium, like kind of a rundown aquarium, and she befriends the octopus that lives in the tank.
Let's not talk about the octopus. They're very smart.
They're very smart.
And the octopus passes away.
Well,
I'm asking, but you don't have to tell me.
I don't know.
Yvonne's like, great.
I'm not going to tell you. But this might be a book you want to read. It's probably more uplifting and fun.
Yvonne M., good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome in.
Thanks for having me.
You wrote this book.
I did.
I'm jealous because I've always wanted to write a book, but I don't know what to write about.
I did.
I think you have lots of things to write about.
Ty.
But you decided to write about your time as a high-end real estate agent here in Arizona.
Not necessarily just luxury. It's pretty much all types of properties. So multifamily, not in the greatest areas. There's, I definitely do have a hazmat bag in my car just in case.
Just in case.
Well, because some of those houses are
can be a little
creepy sometimes.
A little bit, yeah.
When did you get started in the real estate business? How long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this since 2016.
Okay.
So now I'm a broker and this book, I felt no one's really written anything about what we actually go through, and it is for pretty much anyone. So it's not just for agents or people in real estate. We all can relate to this because it is customer service, it's sales, it's dealing with people. So it's 25 short stories.
And you're dealing with people's money too, which I always think heightens
the senses.
Everybody's, yes.
Absolutely. It's one of the biggest purchases you're going to make in your life. It's a big decision. And so, I've run into a lot of fun things. So this is kind of like all my traumas and just trying to make light of
You're
things.
also dealing with different personalities.
Yes.
And I would say, like Ty said, the different traumas with with the money, right? Your senses are heightened. That's when we fight the most.
And safety. There's a lot of safety things. When I first got licensed, I run into a lot of interesting things. Definitely have your bear spray or whatever.
That bad.
Whatever you need.
Oh, yeah.
So would you go home after showing houses or having some sort of experience and start writing this down? Did you know that this was going to be something that maybe you would do? Or was it after a couple experiences where you're like, I need to write a book about this?
It was basically after my third year in the business, and I thought, this can't be what everyone's going through. Like, why
This
is this
can't be
like
reality.
going right? And a few people I know have read it, and one of my friends commented, like, I know what you went through, but I had no idea like it was going to get worse. And this book basically covers sex, drugs, murder,
rock and roll,
everything.
Wow, you've covered all the good ones.
Everything.
We
is
have
in
a
there.
question. I want to hear some more of the stories. But Brandy, the bookworm, says the best and worst houses that you've encountered.
Definitely the tinfoil over the windows. And when we arrived at the property, it was a gloomy day, which is rare in Phoenix.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of rain, and it was very eerie. I felt like I was in a movie, like in Breaking Bad, the scene with the ATM.
Yes.
So that type of fix and flip property in Phoenix. And there was a surprise in there. And when I went to open, the door was already unlocked. So stay tuned.
We have to read the book.
You gotta read the book to get the whole story.
Which chapter is that in? Do you remember?
It's in there.
one of
So
these.
I'll
each
see if I can find it.
yeah. So each chapter has a funny name. So there's like
The listing that keeps on giving.
yeah.
I like that.
That
one.
was a good
And
one.
also there are mental notes. You are not required to set yourself on fire to keep others warmed. Oh, I
Yes,
like that.
these are
like
just
that,
little tidbits.
Antidotes.
Yeah, just to keep going, keep powering through.
Tell me about Mr. Hot Pants.
Yeah, that was somebody who was trying to squat in one of my properties when I was showing it. And one of the neighbors in the community called and was like, hey, there's a naked guy on the patio. And so that's that
So
one.
not only was he squatting, he wasn't wearing clothing.
And he couldn't break in, so he was hanging out on the patio.
So how do you deal? I mean, what
Police were
Do
involved.
you get paid enough to deal with this? I mean, some of this stuff
Sometimes.
depends on the house,
But
right?
this is definitely a good book to read before bed because you'll be so grateful that you're not doing this. And each chapter is anywhere from 3 to 6 pages, so it's a super easy read. It's non-linear, so you can read it at your own pace. Yeah.
Wow.
So
what made you eventually kind of be like, I need to put this down?
She needed therapy. Like
Yeah.
this was kind of
was
my
your therapy.
This was my therapy, and it's really difficult. It was obviously before ChatGPT was a big thing, so sitting in front of a blank screen and just like, how do I organize my thoughts? Like, how do I even begin this? And so I thought, okay, short story. Let me just get the bullet points. And
I would imagine that you have so many more stories. You could probably get volume 2 going. But how did you pick and choose the stories, the most dramatic or
just what caused the most trauma is what I picked, or just what I thought was comical because you don't believe it till it happens.
Did you try to like share them with someone, like maybe say, hey Ty, you're never gonna believe what happened to me, and obviously you'd get such a reaction that you're like, that one's going down,
yes,
that one's going in.
And it's funny because this book, it's not necessarily my clients, it's us against the world. So I'm not like talking bad about anybody. It's just like, hey, by the way, this happened. And so it's a little alarming. And
tell us about Grandma's house.
Grandma's house, well, unfortunately, she was no longer with us, and we needed to clean out the property. And I like to go above and beyond for my clients, so I basically put together the garage sale and all this fun stuff, and just kind of talks about the things you find
when you're cleaning out Grandma's house. We'll be surprised.
There are some surprises in that
some
one.
naughty surprises. Grandma was
so naughty. Like she was okay. She was good.
Poor
but there's
grandma.
other surprises from family that pops up.
I like that you're not telling us.
No, this is good.
Because I will
it's
be
an easy
reading
read.
this.
You can get it on Amazon. There's Kindle if you're a Prime member. You can just.
Download
But there's
it right
there's no Audible because I will not read that book one more time. Like I'm done editing.
You haven't memorized though.
I don't want to read.
You lived it. You lived it.
Do you think there's going to be a part 2?
There could, because now it's so easy to publish books,
Yeah.
with AI. So
Well,
I might do
I was
a
asking,
different
like,
version.
are you still having experiences that you're like, I got to add this to my second one?
Absolutely. Every day. And that's why I love it, because I must be a masochist, because every day is different and you just don't know what you're going to get.
Well,
so
I
love
often
it.
say that's why I love this job too, is because, we never know who we're going to interview.
Yeah.
Every day is different. You never what's going to happen in the world that we're going to be reporting
You never know
on.
what people are going to say, how they're going to react.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the fun part, because I like to stay on my toes.
You don't know how you're going to react.
I don't like a boring, mundane job. And I feel like like a real estate agent would be the exact same.
Exactly. Yeah, we don't know. It's and we're all kind of holding hands on this roller coaster ride. It's a great community, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess I wouldn't change it.
Chapter 4, do you like tigers?
So remember during COVID, we had the Tiger King. So I believe one of the guys from the show came into the property because when he gave me his card, and this property was absolutely stunning, and the elevator had Gucci wallpaper.
There was an elevator.
Tiger heads. And so when he came into the building, I was like, I think I know this guy. And then I put two and two together. And when I met him, I asked, do you like tigers? And he made this face like, yeah, I love them.
Do you think it was the Tiger King?
It wasn't
he's
him.
in jail.
He's in jail. It's
That was before the show ended, maybe.
It's the partner, I believe. It's fictional. This is fictional.
Fictional.
So
but real.
anyways.
Yeah.
But he likes the tigers. He didn't end up buying the home, but it was just funny because I'm like, do you like tigers? Because the elevator, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And
he's like, I like
He
tigers.
likes
Do I like tigers?
How fun.
He likes them, yes.
I mean, it must be interesting to kind of, when you go into someone's house too, because I always think, I like to look, I told this
Do you
yesterday.
look in their fridge when you look in the house?
No, that's off limits.
I do
But
not.
I'm like a Zillow kind of addict.
Yeah.
I love, I just
not
like.
a word you want to say.
I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding.
Well, he's not looking at prices. He's just looking at
I like
what's
to
out
look
there.
at the houses.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think did no one tell them they need to pick up their bedroom before the photographer comes in?
We can only do so much. You know,
That's
you
what I was
can
gonna
lead a
ask.
horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
'Cause I'm, like, looking
we
at some of
want to
these
show
pictures.
as, your property as best as
Like,
possible.
make your bed.
We had
it happens.
If you're going to have a photographer in there.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're selling your house.
Because it's hard for buyers to imagine what the property is going to look like with so many personal items. So yes, it is better.
That something you tell them? Like I heard, maybe even take down some family
declutter,
photos and things like that, so people can imagine themselves living in this house.
Yep.
Yep. What are some of those other kind of tips and tricks if we got folks in the chat that are like, I'm getting ready to sell. What are coming up the big ones? We got about a minute left.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely fresh paint always helps. It depends on your
it smells good.
property.
Well, it doesn't smell good, but you know what I mean?
You don't really want the, the
Chemicals.
cat's urine scent.
Yes.
That's always, that could be a meth lab. We just don't know.
Oh.
So,
Keep it
nothing
clean.
and I do talk about Glade plugins a lot in this. So it's like, we know what you're trying to hide. So yeah, just keep it simple and declutter and be negotiable on price because we're in a buyer's market right now. So
we've been hearing that.
Off market, the absurdity of real estate.
And they
Yvonne
already put the link on
Cool.
the chat. So if you want to
Oh,
look
someone
at it, it's
already
on
ordered
Amazon.
it. Brand
look at
new.
that.
I think you'll like it. And if not, message me. We can
love it.
chat.
And then if folks are looking for a real estate agent, how do they find you for that?
Yeah, YvonneMatejka.com. And yeah, happy to assess whatever you got going on.
love
And
it.
we'll have fun.
All right.
I'm going to read this tonight.
Brandy, real quick, the book that I read was called Remarkably Bright Creatures. All right, we'll see you tomorrow, everybody.
Bye.
Have a great
Thank
one.
you. Celeste does.
Thanks.
And welcome back, you guys. And look at that beautiful shot, Tempe Town Lake. Today, not so bad as far as the temp goes, right, ladies? I mean, it's been pretty spicy here in Arizona.
And it's going to get even better as we get closer to
yeah.
about Saturday. We're going to see about 104. It's going to be spectacular.
That'll be a good treat. Any weekend plans then for the better weather?
Well, weekend is always great, no matter what the plans are.
Yeah.
Because you get to sleep in a little bit. But yeah, we got good stuff coming.
How about you, Isabella?
I'm
Anything?
going to Tucson, so even
nice.
cooler weather I will be seeing.
Yeah, good. All right, we've got a lot planned for the chat today. And let's go to our Zoom interview because we're talking to someone really cool today, you guys. He is the OLIPOP Director of Media Partnerships, Steve Vigilante. Let's see. Good morning, Steve. How are you?
Hi. Nice to meet you guys.
So we are going to chat about OLIPOP's new flavor, this Spongebob Pineapple Paradise. This is an exciting launch, Steven.
Yeah, we're really excited about it. It's kind of hit a little bit of virality over the last couple of weeks, which is what you love to see on the brand side.
Okay, so talk about the collaboration here. How did this come about? Why SpongeBob? I know it's kind of coincides with the movie release here, but what all goes into developing new products and new flavors at OLIPOP?
Yeah, so this is our third collaboration we've done. We did a collaboration with the Minions for that movie that came out a few years ago, and then we did Barbie last year, and now SpongeBob this year. All three were tied to the movie properties, and so it ends up being a partnership with the studio where you're kind of helping promote the movie and then able to use their IP on the can. And it's been really fun. You know, those are three very iconic characters in the world of Hollywood and entertainment. I think have all been pretty helpful in helping us just grow awareness as a brand and add credibility and also tap into the fandom. It's been really wild that even if you just search SpongeBob OLIPOP on TikTok, like this SpongeBob cult runs very deep, and it feels like it's bringing a lot of new folks into our ecosystem just through the SpongeBob of it all.
You know, it's interesting. You mentioned ecosystem, and I think for a lot of the kiddos maybe who watch SpongeBob now, they're like in their early 20s or something like that, or late teens, and so they're scrambling to the store for this stuff. Have you been at all? You all have surprised by just the excitement around your brand. I mean, y'all are so popular.
I'm obsessed.
I second that. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I was actually the first employee at OLIPOP, so I've been here for 7 years.
Goodness.
And
wow.
I live in Los Angeles, and I remember the early days having to constantly explain it to people, and I'd left like a kind of a big finance job to get into this, and everybody was confused by that decision. But I was really I really believed in what we were doing. I grew up on soda personally, and I wanted a healthy soda to exist. And I remember it took a few years for people to like know what OLIPOP was, but now when you say OLIPOP, it's like people obviously have like a reaction, which is fun. And it's been cool to watch that kind of change over the years. I also get hit up multiple times a day by people looking for jobs, which is kind of the
I thought you were going to say looking for free soda. We got to know more about this. Like you get a call from your parents, son, when are you coming home? We need some soda in the house.
Send a case.
I think that's exciting. What do you mean by the very first employee? Like, how does that convo go? Was it you met these people that were launching the business, and how did you become numero uno?
So I was in venture capital before this. I was investing in healthy food brands and healthy drink brands for a number of years, and had invested in a bunch of stuff that you guys, I'm sure, are familiar with, like Halo Top and Bonza, the pasta brand, and Nut Pods. And I really wanted to help build the brand. And I met the two guys who were starting OLIPOP. They actually had a beverage brand prior as well that we had looked at investing in, that we ended up not investing in, but I really liked them. And when I found out they were doing this Better For You root beer concept, I was obsessed, and I literally cold called them and said I knew they were raising money because I had heard about it from other investors, but I wanted to get more involved. And so I actually ended up coming on to help them raise money, and then joined as the first employee. And that was in 2018. And both founders were in the Bay Area. I was in LA. and had a relationship with the owners of Erewhon, which is obviously a very trendy grocery store here in Los Angeles, and convinced the founders to basically let me launch the brand there. And that was 7 years ago. So
my goodness.
It's grown a lot since. It's a lot, very different company now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Launching it in Air One, that must, and it's not spelled AIR. It's spelled, it's like this hip thing. That must have been just like catapulted the brand.
It's the word nowhere spelled backwards.
Oh, is it really? That's very cool.
You see in the chat, there's questions. We are in Costco. We launched it every Costco a couple months ago. So we have.
Oh man, that might be the thing that gets me to get a Costco membership.
I have bought in the case of Olipops from Costco. I love Olipop.
What flavor are you going for?
Well, my most favorite is the vanilla strawberry and the grape, but I am so excited for the Spongebob launch. I personally didn't grow up watching SpongeBob, but pineapple's my favorite flavor. And again, I love Olipop, so I am very excited.
Steven, what's your favorite?
I am very loyal to the crisp apple right now. I am just obsessed with it. I grew up in and around New York City, and it really reminds me of the like little glass jar sparkling apple juices that are sold all throughout New York City. And so that one's super nostalgic for me. And I also love the grape. I am deeply obsessed with our grape. I think it's one of the best.
Yeah, the grape is really good. And I'm in love with your root beer. And I was floored because I've tried other, healthy sodas, and I wanted to dig into that just a little bit more too and explain to folks why it's healthy. But I've tried other brands, but when I tasted the root beer, I will say, I mean, it's pretty authentic to like the real deal, or the one that's like less healthy that I think most of us are familiar with. So,
are you hireable? Do you want to make Facebook ads?
What'd you say there?
I said, are you hireable for Facebook ads?
Yeah, I mean, why not? We can always work something out, right? Deals can be made. But Steven, explain why it's healthy. There's a lot of great ingredients in Olipop.
Yeah, so traditional sodas have 40 to 50 grams of sugar per can, and, artificial sweeteners, artificial colors, kind of like the laundry list of all the things that are not great to be consuming on a daily basis. And we've formulated a soda that has, 2 to 4 grams of sugar per can, so 90% less, and then has, 6 to 9 grams of prebiotic fiber. So we kind of are using soda as kind of this Trojan horse to remove sugar, but also add fiber to the American diet. 90% of Americans don't get the 30 to 35 grams of fiber that the FDA suggests you need in a day. And so we're trying to help people hit that goal. But again, all of this would be irrelevant if it didn't taste good. So we've always kind of prioritized taste and then the functional benefits as kind of the secondary component. But I agree with you. There's maybe 30 kind of better for you sodas on the market that have kind of come into the world since we launched 7 years ago. But I still kind of hold true that Olipop actually tastes the closest to the real thing. Well, and that's a testament to our CEO, who actually formulates everything himself and is one of the most kind of acclaimed beverage formulators in the country.
That was going to be my next question, but first, a little philosophy in our chat. He said, "Yeah, the sparkling apple juice is a staple." So he's right there with you on that flavor. When you're the owner is taking a look at different types of flavors and things like that, what is that process like behind closed doors? Is there like a factory, a lab? Is there a kitchen where he kind of thinks, "Hey, we're going to try this and this," and how do you come up with the next big flavor?
Yeah, so he actually has a home lab. He's at least started the formulation for each flavor at his home lab. And it's a combination of, at this point, kind of, consumer demand and what people are asking for and what he thinks he can formulate really well. There's certain soda flavors out there that are just so artificial that to make them without artificial ingredients is almost impossible. And obviously, consumer tastes are changing. Gen Z has very different flavor profile tastes than kind of the older generation. So we're obviously looking at that as well. We have a flavor coming at the beginning of next year that is kind of our most requested flavor ever, which is really exciting. And, it's constantly listening and listening to what people want. And we have a customer service team that's tracking comments and emails constantly as well. So we are really trying to lean into what our customers tell us.
We love that. Okay, so just we're going to take one last look at the amazing SpongeBob cans here because they are pretty cool.
What flavor would you guys want to see from us, just out of curiosity, if you could make anything? I'll pass it back internally.
Like coming up next, like what we want to see, maybe y'all try coming up next.
If you could be in our flavor lab making a flavor that we don't have yet, what would you want?
Well, you said you have 30 flavors. I know you have root beer.
No. We have 18 right now.
18 right now. Okay, I know you have root beer. Do you have like a root beer cream, like a creamsicle
They
kind
have
of
a
like
cream
root
one,
beer?
yeah, a cream soda. It's good.
We have a cream soda and an orange cream, which is more like a creamsicle. So
yeah,
It's probably hard to come up with new flavors.
I have a
Do you
few
have
ideas.
like a cherry cola? Because I know you have the cola, and you
got
have the
cherry
root beer.
cola. Yeah.
Do you have a cherry cola?
Sneaky, one of my favorites as well. I love that one.
Okay.
It was exclusive to Target for a long time, so if you aren't a Target shopper, you wouldn't have seen it. But it's now more widely distributed.
Okay, I'm going to read off some of your flavors because I just looked it up online. You've got banana cream pie, which sounds amazing, by the way. That's my favorite pie. So maybe that's next on the docket. And watermelon lime, are you kidding me? That sounds spectacular.
Oh, I just tried that one the other day.
Oh, my goodness.
That one, Stephen, is really good. Light and refreshing.
2 suggestions for me, Stephen. I think first, if you could do a pomegranate one. So something not too sweet, maybe pomegranate acai. And my second recommendation is something more tropical. So maybe a guava flavor.
Oh, you've thought about this.
I mean, I'm so loyal to OLIPOP. It's the only soda I drink, and I've tried all the flavors. So I would like to see those.
Maybe you can do a guava partnership with Hawaiian Airlines. You know, on the airplane, they hand out guava juice to all of their, you know, people that are
like
flying
Hawaiian
the airline.
Sun. That would be yummy.
Or something prickly pear, since we're here in Arizona. That might be fun.
I like that.
Yeah.
Refreshing.
Kind of obsessed with the sparkling oatmeal in the chat. I don't even know what that
I
would
know,
be.
right? I was just reading that. It's like we need some more details on that one. Melinda said mango.
Oh,
I like Linda. She said kiwi
I know, the
strawberry.
sparkling oatmeal. It's like, what would that taste like?
I don't know if I want to know.
I don't know if I'd want to go there with that one. Well, Stephen, we've got about 30 seconds here to wrap up. So the Spongebob cans are out, or when does it officially launch?
They launched, they're in Walmart, Target, launching at Circle K, and we launched them actually in Roblox, in the SpongeBob game in Roblox last week, so people can collect them in the game to redeem a code that can get them a free case in stores, which is
okay. Perfect. Stephen Vigilante, OLIPOP's Director of Media and Partnerships. We thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Stephen. Love the last name, by the way. You're true vigilante.
Thanks, Stephen. Great job.
I love it. All right, we're going to say bye to Stephen, and as we do, there's your mystery cam for the day, you guys. Get in your guesses. Sorry, you guys, we got cut off, I think, before the break there. I was going to tell you to get in your guesses, but we don't have any. That's because it's my fault. We do have one. Well, Patricia there. Is this Illinois? What are you guys thinking? You going
Let's
with
see.
Patricia
Brandy
here?
the
or-
Bookworm says that Cam is kind of hazy, maybe California or Utah, somewhere that's getting smoke from
It's
the
like a
fires.
capital of some
yeah,
kind,
there's a
huh?
Yeah,
capital.
capital somewhere.
I don't know. I'm not good with my capitals.
I was gonna go. I don't know.
We'll go like
That's a good
Albany.
question.
Oh,
Upstate
okay.
New York.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that a capital?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't have
yeah,
my-
that
It
that
is.
could be a
My
good
fifth grade.
guess. And it's nice and
Geography.
green in New York, so
You're right. It's kind of hazy. The
Yeah.
maybe
Philosophy
wildfires.
says maybe Cincinnati. There's a
Oh,
bird on the left, I believe, of the camera.
That's not
He
Cincinnati.
says-
That's not Cincinnati.
All right,
been to
Andy.
Cincinnati. All right, what do we got?
got the big
Let's-
reveal.
let's break
I'm
it
gonna go
down.
Illinois.
Springfield, Illinois, the
there you
capital.
go.
There
Yeah,
you
I don't
go.
even know what I was thinking.
There you go.
There
Right
you go.
on.
Patricia's right. Patricia is right every day.
Spot on.
Okay.
Way to go, girl.
Spot on.
All right, we're going to talk some fun topics here before we jump into some bigger headlines for today. So we're talking Halloween candy. All right, Hershey's, you guys, is getting ready for spooky season. So the company is unveiling their lineup of Halloween treats, including the debut of a vampire-shaped Kit Kat called Kit Kat Counts.
Oh, okay. I love it.
I think
love
that's
it.
pretty clever.
I love it.
And then they have the Nuggets pumpkin spice latte. Nah, I'm not
Chicken
doing the.
Hopefully that doesn't have any caffeine for the kids.
It's the
That's
bite-sized
problem.
chocolate, like almost like the little mini, like Hershey bar
yeah.
type thing. And then the other one they're doing is Shakalicious XL gummies.
I've had those. Those are good. I will approve of those.
You'll
so
approve
far.
of all of them? Are you more chocolate or gum? I'm chocolate
that's a good-
everything.
I'm a gummy.
I'm kind of a gummy person, but
Gummies.
I don't discriminate.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
fine.
fair. That's fair.
I can count to 4 if they want to do those Kit Kats and go 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are all for me. Sorry, little kids.
Yeah. All right. And a big day for ASU. We've got move-in day coming, you guys. So brace yourselves for that. It's going to be
a
busy
big
in and around
day.
town.
Not just busy. I think we're going to see a lot of tears.
Oh, yeah.
And for those, there's a lot of parents who bring their kids. These are all the students who are moving into the Taylor dorm, downtown Phoenix, and it's a big thing. It's a big thing to send your kiddo to school, and you know when
And
you
you
have,
just did, so you just experienced
Yeah,
that.
and when you leave, I think that there is, there's some tears. I have a girlfriend who just dropped her daughter off at Alabama, and she said I know it's so far. She cried the entire plane ride back, and then my husband and I, we just got back from California over the weekend, and we saw Mom. She was crying in the airport, and he looked at me and he's like, "She's leaving her daughter. She's going to college." It's like, what are those things, and nothing can get you ready for that moment. It's pretty amazing.
I can't
Yeah, where'd you go
imagine.
to school?
I went to Colorado, so I know my mom had that same way.
Yeah.
But that's what parents are kind of for.
Yeah.
They're kind of right there for the send off. Let them spread their wings a little bit.
Go on, little bird. Go on, little bird.
I'm not ready for that moment.
I'm not either. You were saying you have a 2-year-old.
2-year-old. Yeah, I'm not ready for that moment. I feel like that moment's going to happen sooner than I
Yeah. Oh my
think about
goodness.
it.
They always say, and you guys in the chat can probably chime in on this as well. They always say it goes by so fast. And I remember when we started having kids, they always said it goes by so fast. But you really do blink and you're thinking, oh my gosh, you're graduating high school. It's crazy.
I know. And then they're gone.
I know.
They're doing
I know.
At least California's not too far away.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
so true.
I know, and
but
I've
it's
got 4
exciting,
over here.
for a lot of students at Sun Devil. The Sun Devils. That is one of the largest universities in the country.
Yeah. I mean, it's huge, and obviously it kind of depends on school, but like graduate, undergraduate population, but having a lot of kids in your same kind of boat, that is somewhat reassuring.
Yeah,
To know
you're
that
all there together.
everyone's going through it together.
You're
Like,
all eating at the cafeteria
Oh.
together.
Yeah, don't tell.
And then classes for them start August 21st. So move-in day, and then the start of
we're rolling.
the rest of their lives.
Coming up quick.
Yeah, make sure you study up, college
Yeah.
kids. Don't
All
forget
right.
about that part. That's an important part of college.
Yeah.
Okay, studying.
Oh, gosh, of course. Do you remember those days?
Oh my gosh.
Although I'm like, wait, that would be easier now than, paying the bills, managing
Correct.
the house, doing the kids.
It was a rush, man. I remember it.
Enjoy
man.
that
Like,
time. Don't rush it.
Yeah, really gotta focus in.
Yeah.
How's everything going upstairs? You guys are busy. You
We
had a
are
big day
busy.
yesterday.
Yep. We already heard from President Trump today talking at the Kennedy Center. Was asked a lot about what's going on Friday as they will meet with Putin in Russia. He said that it's going to be one-on-one. He said he's open to a second meeting, so it's going to be one-on-one Trump-Putin this time. But if it goes well, they could meet with Zelensky as well for Ukraine. So that will be interesting. And we know it's at an army base in Alaska on Friday. Timing, it has not come out yet. So we're all kind of just anticipating what Friday looks like. And we heard Trump speak with European leaders earlier saying that Zelensky was actually on that kind of Zoom or call, and he said Putin's probably bluffing.
Yeah.
So we'll see what comes of Friday, because that's kind of the anticipation. We were waiting all week for this Friday meeting.
You think he's freshening up maybe and reading his book, The Art of the Deal?
Yeah, maybe.
You know, I mean, you know,
Maybe.
there is a lot of negotiating that takes place in a lot of these meetings, and you have to think, you know, I'm sure they're preparing for the meeting and it's kind of a big deal, and you know, you think to be a fly on the wall in that room and to hear the discussions or the hellos or the goodbyes and the salutations and you know, the security and everything.
Yeah, everything that has to come together. And he said he's going to know within the first 2 minutes if a deal is ready. So if we do see that handshake, we can probably read into some body language to see what it's going to entail.
Like a
and that seems pretty early on to be able
a little dab. Will they do a handshake?
Dab? Are they going to like?
I don't think Putin's going to do the dab.
No,
I don't think so.
Maybe one of these. You know, I don't
we'll
know.
be able to sense early on, but yeah, White House officials had said like it's more of a listening exercise for the president here.
Feeling it out, see how it goes, but he did tease that second meeting right away. So like we talked about, I think over the last couple of days, it was going to be interesting since Zelensky's not going to be there, how the conversation goes. So he's also, I guess, maybe allowing Zelensky to be in the loop a little bit, to be like, hey, like if it goes well, we will bring you in very soon. So maybe that will ease some of the kind of concerns of Zelensky, the concerns of European leaders.
And then we had, obviously, overnight, we've seen the National Guard now in D.C., so that's still something that everyone is.
And they're kind of ramping
about.
up. It was a little slow burn to get to this point, but they're going kind of around the clock starting today. So we'll see a lot of force, and the National Guard will be kind of around some of the national malls, the more prominent features, but that's what they're there for. People are saying they're not going to the areas where the crime is happening, but they're going to assist to protect some of the federal buildings, some of the federal locations, some of the touristy spots.
You know, one of the numbers that came out this morning was that we had a reporter from Dallas live in our 10 a.m. hour here. It's at, there's 800, right, guard troops that are out, and that's about the same number that they're short police officers in D.C. And I had no idea they were short that many officers.
Yeah, I don't know if they're ever fully staffed. It kind of feels like that in a lot of different places where
cities,
you're just you could just never get up to the quota that you need. But
we're struggling with that right here in Phoenix. You see the billboards on the signs across the street. It's hard to get them in.
Everywhere.
And training for that process is long.
Correct.
You know, you can't necessarily go out and just hire 800 people. There's 6 months or plus of academy on the job training.
Yeah.
I think it was just like interesting because you think that initially, not living in D.C., you think it's going to be 800 more officers on the street. But that's it really is technically, but they're actually replacing spots that are not being taken right now.
Correct. And when we talk about D.C., we talked about the jurisdiction, and we've talked to Fox 5 D.C. people quite a bit, and just the amount of agencies that are there, Capitol Police, the DEA, ATF, you're kind of the epicenter of all of the police, law enforcement sources. So they're all kind of just assisting each other. And we've seen it, like the Postal Service kind of get involved. So it's a little bit of everybody get involved. So
the mailman, your mailman is involved.
Yeah, and they're arresting people. And we've seen some arrests. I know. That would be embarrassing.
Well, yeah. And to talk about some of those numbers, FBI Director Kash Patel did say 10 arrests had been made so far already. But city leaders, they're not too happy with what the president is doing in this kind of takeover. They feel, it's an overreach because they say violent crime has actually gone down. I've heard different numbers, but about 26% they say over the past few years. And we do have some sound on this if we want to take.
I'm announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor, and worse.
Within these 30 days, our entire focus is making sure that this is the most efficient operation possible and that we are removing as many criminals from the streets.
You tell the mother of the intern who was shot going out from McDonald's near the Washington Convention Center, oh, crime is down. No, that falls on deaf ears. And my ears are deaf to that. And that's why I fight the fight.
A lot of emotion here.
They're coming out strong and showing some posture right there. We talked about the stats of violent crime being down in DC. That was the most recent report, but obviously a more stronger force, more arrests being made. So it'll be interesting to see what it looks like in 30 days, because there was big conversations, and we talked about California, different jurisdictions, legal battles. This one less so, just based on it being in our nation's capital in the district. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens over 30 days if crime actually comes down, what the arrests are going to be.
And is that going to be enough?
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
30 days, that's
the thing.
We know how quickly time moves. Like,
Correct.
what can you really get accomplished
in
that time frame?
And then we're going to hear in 2 weeks about some being pulled back, and that's going to be another kind of story about how National Guard troops are being kind of recalled and sent home. So we'll see what happens. If it is what it is, we'll see. We really haven't seen a ton with the homeless population yet. That was going to be a big conversation.
Yeah, it was.
So we really haven't seen any necessarily arrests with that. So that could be a point of controversy that we keep an eye on.
Okay. All right, you're busy up there. What do you guys got? Anything on the radar
we're
for
keeping
today
a track
up
on,
there in Live Now?
We're always worried about hurricanes this time of year.
Yeah.
So we have a tropical storm, Erin, off the coast in kind of the Bahamas area. It doesn't look like it's going to make landfall in the United States, very low percentage. But the tropics, the Atlantic Basin heating up, and that's usually when we get rolling with hurricane season. Nothing we have to deal with here in Arizona, though.
Fortunately.
No.
But we will get rain. I think we got some rain chances tonight, tomorrow, and Friday night, which is great news. Yeah.
I'm not ready for that.
You're not ready? Oh, God. I think we are.
We'll see 104 for your son's birthday.
That's good, yes. Tune it down just a little
Mother
bit.
Nature kind of came in. That's her gift to you and your family.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, Andy, do you want to stick around, or do you want to talk bear in the pool here?
I've seen it. I'm a game for it.
All right. So obviously bears need to cool down in the summer as well. So take a look at this. This bear goes, that pool looks pretty good, and decides, you know what, I'm going to get in. Why not? They've got no pool fence. There's nothing stopping me. This is in Connecticut there.
Oh, wow.
You can see the person's security cameras caught the bear roaming around the edge before it jumped in and just decided to enjoy a dip. I think that's what some of our viewers might be doing today.
The bare necessities this time of summer.
That's right, cooling off. We saw a bear in a house earlier this week, right?
I think so.
All right,
and
well,
now in the pools.
Guys, that does it for today. We're going to end on the bear in the pool.
I love a good bear in a pool.
Yeah.
When it comes across my Twitter or something, I can't look away.
All right.
I love it.
If you're headed to the pool today, enjoy like this bear. We'll see you guys tomorrow, starting at 10.
Excellent job.